All right, let's get ready for another deep dive. And today we're heading to Nigeria.
Sounds exciting.
It is exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who are curious about Nigeria, I think this is going to be a good one for you. We found a great source called 10 Fascinating Facts About Nigeria.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, it really breaks down everything from population and culture to the economy and natural wonders. So, there's something here for everyone.
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah. And just a little teaser. I don't know if you know this, but apparently there's a town in Nigeria where twin births are incredibly common. So we'll get to that later.
Really? I did not know that. All right, so where do we begin?
Well, I think the best place to start is with, if you think about Nigeria, you think about the people, right?
Yeah, huge population.
Huge. It's actually the most populous country in all of Africa. And get this, it's the 7th most populous globally.
Wow. That's got to be over 200 million?
Over 220 million people.
Wow. Yeah, that's a demographic force.
It is a force. What does that mean for their influence, not just in Africa, but globally?
Well, I think you're right. It's not just about the numbers. It's about what they represent. When you have a population that size, you have significant impact on everything, from continental politics, as you said, even to the global economy. Think about it. Nigeria's population is larger than many European countries combined.
Right, yeah, and it makes you really kind of rethink any preconceived notions about global power dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about a large population, but it's also incredibly diverse, too.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that there are over 500 languages spoken in Nigeria?
Wow. 500. That's incredible. Just imagine the day-to-day realities of living in a society with that kind of linguistic diversity. It impacts communication, education, culture. Even how people do politics.
Absolutely.
It's just remarkable.
It's a testament to their cultural tapestry.
Yeah.
Speaking of complexity, Nigeria also has the largest economy in Africa.
It does.
Driven by oil, agriculture, and this booming tech sector.
Right.
What's the secret sauce behind their success?
Well, their economy is very multifaceted, as you just highlighted there. But oil has traditionally played, I think, a really big role. Although I think what we're seeing now is they're really actively diversifying.
Right.
And Lagos, their largest city, has earned this nickname, the Silicon Valley of Africa.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's very appropriate because it is a hub for tech startups. It's attracting local talent, but it's also getting a lot of interest from international investors as well. So that's one of the ways that they're kind of harnessing their potential.
Yeah, the Silicon Valley of Africa. I love that.
It's a cool nickname.
But it's not all business. Speaking of culture, we talked about all those languages, but their film industry, Nollywood. Did you know it produces more movies annually than Hollywood?
Oh, absolutely. Nollywood is a total powerhouse. It's actually second only to Bollywood in terms of the volume of films it puts out.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. I think what's really interesting about it is that they make films that really reflect the realities of Nigerian life.
Yeah.
They're not just entertainment. I think it's a real window into how people there live, what their challenges are.
Totally.
It's a real reflection, I think, of Nigerian society.
It is. And speaking of incredible feats, have you heard of the third mainland bridge in Lagos? It's the longest bridge in West Africa, stretching over 11.8 kilometers. Can you imagine the daily commute on that?
I can't even fathom it. 11.8 kilometers.
Yeah. That's quite a commute.
That's huge.
It is. And, I think infrastructure is a big, symbol of progress for many countries. And this bridge is definitely a testament to Nigeria's, ambition and also just their engineering prowess.
Right.
It's really incredible.
It's a lifeline, right? It's connecting these communities and it's driving all this economic activity.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's go back in time now. We're going to go way back to 1000 BCE because Nigeria is home to the Nok civilization. What's cool about them, you look at all these ancient civilizations and they have these artifacts that are left. And for the Nok, it's these really intricate terracotta sculptures.
Yeah, these sculptures are amazing. They're considered, masterpieces of African art, and they depict figures, both human and animal, sometimes in these really abstract forms.
It's incredible, the detail.
It is. And what's really interesting about studying ancient civilizations like the Nok is that it helps us kind of track how art and culture evolved over time.
Right.
It gives us this window into the past, and I think it really enriches our understanding of the present, of how we got here.
It does. It's just a reminder that Nigeria's story is not just about the present. It's rooted in this rich history.
Absolutely.
Speaking of fascinating stories, have you heard about Igbo Ora? It's called the twin capital of the world.
I have heard of it.
Have you?
Yeah. It's like a mystery. I mean, this town, they have this unusually high rate of twin births. And scientists have been trying to figure out, like, why is that?
Yeah.
Why so many twins?
It's crazy.
It is. And some people believe it's because their diet is very rich in yams.
Oh, wait.
But, no one's really sure.
Yeah.
It's still a mystery. And it's just, it makes you think about, like, interplay of genetics, the environment,
Right.
Maybe there's some cultural factors. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's a great example of, I think, how you can take this simple fact and go down this deep rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's shift gears a little bit to the natural world. The Niger Delta. It's one of the world's largest deltas, and it's a major biodiversity hotspot.
Yeah, it's a really ecologically vital area. Deltas in general are really important. They kind of act as nurseries for fish and other marine life. And they provide all these different habitats for a whole variety of species, so they're incredibly important, ecologically. But the Niger Delta specifically, it kind of faces this challenge of balancing its ecological importance with, well, it's also a major oil-producing region.
Right.
So, there's this, how do you balance the need for economic development and at the same time protecting this really fragile environment?
Right. And it's tough choices, right?
It is.
You have to make these compromises.
Yeah, tough decisions.
And let's not forget about music. Nigeria has given the world some real musical giants.
Oh, yeah.
You think of Fela Kuti, the pioneer of Afrobeat, and then you think of, like, today, Burna Boy, Wizkid. These guys are huge globally.
Yeah, they're massive. And Nigerian music, it's really more than just entertainment, I think. It's like a cultural export that's influencing global trends in music.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of social commentary, storytelling. It's a real expression, I think, of their identity.
Totally, yeah.
It's amazing.
Finally, I want you to just picture this, because this is a beautiful image. The Osun Osogbo Groves. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's this sacred forest dedicated to the river goddess Osun.
It's a beautiful place. It's got shrines, sculptures. It's all dedicated to this Yoruba deity.
Yeah.
And it's like this real sanctuary where you see, like, nature and spirituality intertwined.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful reminder, I think, of the connection that humans have with nature.
It really is. So, we just scratched the surface here, but what have we learned? Nigeria is this country of immense diversity.
Yeah.
From its languages and cultures to its economic activities and these ecological treasures. It's a fascinating place.
Yeah, it really is. And, considering Nigeria's growing population and their economic influence, we've only talked about that a little bit, but it's a country that's poised to play an even bigger role on the world stage going forward. I think what will be really interesting to see is how they navigate their unique challenges, the opportunities that come their way as they continue to develop and grow.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you listening at home. What surprised you the most about what we talked about today? And, based on what you heard, what else makes you curious about Nigeria? There's so much to explore. And I'm sure, the more you dig, the more fascinated you're going to be.
Yeah, it's a really dynamic place.
It is. All right, well, that's going to do it for this deep dive, but stick around. We'll be back soon with another one.
See you next time.
See you next time.